Hello, and welcome to the Media Copilot. I'm your host, Pete Pachal, and founder of the Media Copilot, and today we are doing something special. We are diving into the future of PR, powered by AI, of course. And when I say we, I really mean it. I'm here with a longtime friend of the podcast and of the Media Copilot. It is Peter Bittner of The Upgrade. Hello, Peter.
Hey, Pete, thanks for having me on. Great to be here. Yeah, I'm excited to collab with you. And we've been in touch for a while, with our similar mission to really help empower media professionals with AI tools and techniques and frameworks. And can't wait to discuss a little bit of what we have in store up our sleeves.
Totally. You've got all the good stuff. And yeah, we have a special announcement right now, and I'm not going to make the audience wait very long for it.
I'm not going to bury
Uh,
the lead.
we're not going to bury the lead. We're going to just tell everybody right here at the start, folks. Peter and I are going to be co-hosting, co-administrating, co-teaching a very special in-depth class on using AI in PR work and communications work, and that is going to be happening in 2025. And I am super thrilled to be doing it, Peter. I know you are you've been teaching online for longer than I have, and you have mastered certain techniques of doing that. I've been obviously working with a lot of media professionals, a lot of PR folks over this past year, and really getting to know their needs and their affinity for AI, the things they want to automate, the kinds of work that works best to automate with AI in the PR field. I'm just really thrilled to work with you on sort of combining your peanut butter and my chocolate to make something like really, really meaty. Meaty in the peanut butter and chocolate don't usually
Yes,
turn into
yes,
meat, but
peanut
it's
butter
going to this
chocolate
time, guys.
salami sandwich. Exactly. Hopefully, a little bit more delicious end product, but I like where you're going with it, though. Yeah, I don't know if you knew this about me, Pete, but originally, even before I went to my journalism master's program at Berkeley, I was in PR and communications before I
Nice.
even was a journalist. So I've always been super passionate about, strategic communications and public relations and media relations and all of that. And once worked, as an intern way back at Fleischman Hillard, and then did some consulting, before eventually studying and doing my master's in multimedia journalism at Cal. So it's cool to come full circle.
Awesome. Wow. I didn't even know that about you. I'm already learning in this. So, folks,
Great.
if you're already intrigued and you're into this idea, go ahead and check our link in the show notes. By the way, it's going to be have a link to the landing page for the class, but we're going to tell you all about it here, and it's kicking off in February 2025. But everyone should know off the bat that if you sign up for the class well in advance, you will get a substantial discount from the list price essentially. So as soon as you hear as soon as you hear about it, feel free to sign up and get over there, because the sooner you do it, the more you'll save. I'm not sure when in the future you are hearing this, but it's probably a good idea to go check right now via the link in the landing page to see how much you can save.
Yep. Great
All
point.
right. So I want to get right into it. I want to talk about all the things we're going to be going over, the specific things. So if you're listening and you're kind of like, well, how do I use AI in media, or how do I use AI in PR? What are the specific things I should be doing? Or maybe you're already using it, but you're probably maybe only dabbling with certain outputs, certain chatbots. This is going to take you from that sort of basic level to some pretty advanced stuff over a period of weeks. So, Peter, tell us all about the details people need to know on this class.
Yeah, absolutely. So it's a 6 week course. It starts on February 4th. It takes place every Tuesday at 12 p.m. Eastern Time for 1 hour. In addition to that, you also get two individual personalized coaching sessions with Pete and or myself. And there's also an awesome capstone project built into the whole program. So you'll be able to work on something specific to your own individual workflows and professional priorities, right? So depending on what you're really most interested in, we can help tailor and customize a learning pathway for you and help give you some coaching on how best to implement AI for real world results.
Yeah, absolutely. And we've structured the class to accommodate busy schedules. It's 1 hour a week for 6 weeks, and it's hopefully at a very convenient time for at least a lot of PR folks who tend to be on the East Coast. But if even if you're not, that predictable time every week, whether it's noon Eastern or 9 o'clock Pacific, or wherever you happen to be, will hopefully be really accommodating for folks who are interested. On top of that, we're going to have a lot of class material that you can dive into before and after the class, each one. So that'll be tailored nicely. Again, it's not going to be too excessive. We're very conscious of people are busy and they want to get to the good stuff really, really quickly. And we're going to do that week after week.
Yep.
Awesome. Speaking of week after week, we've got a detailed breakdown of every week. So we're going to just really quickly tell you what you're going to learn in each of these classes. So in week one, we're setting the stage, and we're going to be basically giving you the, not just the basics of AI, but the basics of AI tailored to your work, right? So anyone can sort of give you a few tips on ChatGPT or Claude or what have you. We're going to talk about from the start, how are you how should you be using these tools to facilitate work in PR and comms fields, what the content creation, the ways to look at data and sites on the internet, data scraping, all this kind of stuff we're going to set the stage for in week one.
Yeah, absolutely. So our curriculum is far from a generic prompt engineering, set of templates or primers. This is really customized. Every use case and example, every framework and resource is really tailored to PR, strategic communications, media relations, right? And so it's going to be great if you fall into those camps, right? And there's a lot of good stuff we're going to jump into. Week two, right, is going to really transition from more of that sort of high level intro to how you should be thinking about and implementing AI high level into more of that AI enhanced workflow, for everything from press releases to social posts, social media calendars, as well as real time media insights in terms of using AI, as you mentioned, Pete, for some real deep, quick, insights into how posts are performing, tracking sentiment live, right? And trends in ways that were simply impossible even, a few months ago in some cases.
Yeah, absolutely. And, for content creation is a go-to um, use case for all AI. I mean, that's kind of what generative is. It's creating content. But PR folks need stuff that's very specific. I mean, I'll right off the bat, easy one, press releases. Now I know there's a lot of press release generators out there, but they're none of them are really tailored to you and your work. And we're going to show you sort of how to massage these tools and even build your own to make sure you're getting good stuff. There's things like SEO. A lot of generic chatbots. Sure, anyone can tell ChatGPT to optimize something for SEO. How do you know? How do you know it's any good? Where's your paper trail? There are other tools outside of those obvious ones that show you that will work with your brand data, for example, in a way that isn't weird or requires some esoteric programming or whatever. All of that is very possible and probably easier and more affordable than you think. We're going to show you all that.
Yeah, exactly. So that includes things like, spinning up your own AI assistant as well, which we'll cover in the course. If that's something that you're interested in particular, would be a great capstone project. Let's help you create, a GPT or perhaps something even, different that is, really going to help you with your specific workflows using your own data securely, privately, right, reliably, helping you to produce better, higher quality assets, regardless of what medium, what audience.
Totally. Another thing that intersects the second week and some of the other weeks is like a huge thing in PR, which is essentially monitoring media and sites and the buzz online to some extent of what's going on around you or your clients. This is something that is, there's a lot of tools that help PR do this, but I don't know how many of them really can take that information and do some automatic formatting, prioritization, and summarization, and getting that right into your inbox every day. And that's a thing that I think generative really brings to the table, for a lot of sort of the real time media monitoring that just didn't exist before. Again, like as with all the other tools we're talking about, this is something that is much more accessible than it used to be. And you can get some off the shelf solutions, you can build your own. We're going to walk you through sort of the use case, how to optimize it for you and your brand and your clients, and then possibly even getting you building your own tools with it. So it's going to be a great way to sort of really upgrade your game in terms of like keeping an eye on things online.
Yeah, absolutely. And people probably are wondering, what tools are you going to cover? So that's a common question, right? I think
Hmm.
that we'll cover, as Pete mentioned, right, some of the core basic, GPT models as well as cloud, right? And ways in which you can optimize and customize them too, using some, emerging tools and plugins, or, specific features. The latest ones at the time, because this space is moving constantly. We're, Pete and I both playing every day, experimenting, making sure that we're staying up to date with all of these, but also, yeah, thinking about some of the ones for more, niche and specialized use cases, right? So we're
Yeah.
doing some vetting of some of these off the shelf products as well for PR and media.
Yeah, totally. And when I say build your own, like I might sound intimidating, right? Like it's not really. Like honestly, I'm not a coder, and I build tools in these no code platforms. That there's a number of them. Peter and I have our favorites. You'll learn about all of them in our class. But really, they don't. You can build pretty custom stuff without knowing a lick of code. Of course, coding always helps, but they, once you sort of take the veneer off these things, they end up being a little bit simpler than you think. You can get, 3 steps in Zapier can do a lot.
Right,
And that's not even a coding tool, right? That's just an if this, then that type of tool. So,
right.
not too hard to sort of customize AI to work for you.
Yeah, absolutely. So we'll unpack and share a lot of our favorite tools as part of our own sort of professional communications tech stack, right? And ones in which, yeah, there's no coding required. That's the beauty, honestly, of, coming from the humanities, at least for me, it's really amazing to now, with AI, be able to, with natural language, just normal English, of which, we've been trained, right? And writing and editing, and now just using, spoken or written language, you can build your own tools, right, as you mentioned, very quickly, right, and customize them for your specific organization, your position, your, tasks and projects that you do. And so it's really awesome. It's an amazing time to be, a knowledge worker, and the ability to get so much more done, I know, is probably no other field as important as in this one, right? In media, moving at light speed.
Totally. Totally. Yeah. Speaking of automating tasks, so whenever you're planning some kind of campaign, there's a lot of components to it, a lot of moving parts, right? Like all the places that you're going to get out a public message on social, targeted the targeted outreach with media, all the monitoring that goes hand in hand with it, the potential crisis management that could happen if there's a backlash against something. So there's a lot of parts of that don't necessarily require a lot of human cognition, so to speak, that are really ripe for automation. And there are many tools that you can either combine or have already combined a lot of components of these things, depending on the campaign you're looking to run and sort of what the networks are. And we're going to have a whole course on this, basically, like campaign planning and automation. And then the whole idea being like automate the tasks you can, and obviously have human in the loop and oversight, and we're going to have good guidance on where that is necessary, and how to ensure the integrity of the stuff that you're putting out there. But mostly, like, again, this is really like AI sort of writ large, figuring out where that human attention is most needed, where it is crucial, and where that human touch is really going to make a difference, and just putting sort of the rest in sort of an automated or at least partially automated place. I mean, that's going to increase your output massively once you sort of master both the framework of where to put that human attention and then just knowing the tools and how to connect them. We're doing a whole week on this. It's going to be great.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm excited about that one. And, every time I teach a course like this, as you mentioned, I've been teaching like you, yeah, specific to AI tools for the last year or two here. But in my work at Berkeley as well, all of this tech and emerging media is constantly evolving. And every time I teach a course, it is different, right? It is updated, it is fresh. And yeah, there's some new tools that have come out that we're excited to dive into. And in many cases, Pete and I have vetted them and spoken directly with some of their founders, even too. So for some of these out of the box tools, we have some pretty cool access and ability to show you under the hood some things that you may not be able to find at first glance, and really distill, right, some of the most important ones and potential time saving or productivity gaining features and use cases for you.
Yeah, and you just think about all the sort of tedious parts of a campaign that you could automate away, which would enable you again to put your human attention on those important relationships. Because like that's the thing that we really want to emphasize. It's not about replacing those really important human interactions in any PR or media relations activity, right? Like those are the lifeblood of it. Like when you have those good relationships with influencers or media folks and really nurturing those. But just think if you could have more time to do that, to get more out of those key relationships, because all the other stuff is basically being taken care of by your AI assistant or agent. That's sort of the dream. That's where you want to get to, and that's the whole point of this course is sort of to get you there.
That's such a great point. Yeah, that's the right way to think about it. I think a lot of students in my courses, come to class often with, this idea that, AI may be eating into their job or taking away from their career prospects. And I think that couldn't be further away from the truth. I think that there's going to be, definitely a change in the way that people are going to be spending time, but it's exciting, playing with these tools and building AI assistants and agents, and in some cases, getting to the point already where we can have multiple AI assistants or tools for different parts of our, normal everyday workflows, has allowed me to save tremendous amounts of time as a small business owner, and for example, and be able to, like you said, really make time to connect with students, with clients, right, with partners and others. And yeah, that's absolutely, I think, the right way to think about it. How can we, yeah, free ourselves up to be more human? And I think those elements of work, are going to be even more important, right, in terms of building your career,
Yeah,
especially in this industry.
100%. So in PR and communications, like most knowledge industries, data is super key. Getting data from your campaigns, understanding it, interpreting it, factoring in industry data, and then taking that data and turning it into something actionable. Now, right now, a lot of that is tediously manual. It's rapidly evolving with AI. And if you feel like you are underutilizing AI in this department, uh, wow, we've got some stuff for you on this point. The ability of AI to take data around a project, interpret it, and not just sort of tell you what it means, but give you, in fact, the essentially the tools to interpret it now. Like, I mean, AI about a year ago, sure, it could tell you things about data. Now, with the right tools and techniques, it can give you interactive dynamic charts on the fly that are customized to your project, and you can iterate on the AI to make those basically into a dashboard that anyone can use, which can then in turn produce reports to you, as many as you want to your liking. Again, this is a great area that is really emerging very, very quickly and evolving very quickly. I know a lot of people are feeling sort of left behind on it, are still sort of just sort of fumbling around in Excel with a lot of this stuff. Nothing against Excel, great program, but honestly, getting there with just a blank sheet, I mean, that's so that's so 2010s. Now it's like, you got to come in with your jazzy AI data, and we're all about that. Like, I mean, all these new tools, particularly in Chat GPT and Claude with Canvas and artifacts, and their ability to sort of turn data into something that is you can shape on the fly with, again, no coding experience. It's incredible, and we're going to show you how to do all that.
Yeah, if that's a big part of your role too, we can also touch upon some things like having, yeah, Claude or ChatGPT help write your Excel formulas, right? If you're married to Excel, for example, or want to still be in the driver's seat but want some shortcuts, right? There's a whole spectrum of interventions and points at which you can be inserting these tools into your workflow, right? From high level strategy to sort of the granular stuff, like, and we'll talk about some of the pros and cons of where and when and how to do that depending on what your task is.
Yeah. So we're going to wrap everything up with a capstone project in the class, which means it'll be something every student does. So this is one of the awesome things about doing something over several weeks is that you have time to absorb, you have time to apply, you have time to make the material your own, and we're going to create an opportunity for you guys to do that and essentially build a project on whatever you like, really. And we're going to be with you every step of the way. We're going to have individual coaching sessions with you to get it to a point where it just really works for you. This is honestly the part of the class I'm really excited to check out because, whenever I've done something like this, and I'm sure for you too, Peter, it's the creativity, the stuff that comes out, I end up learning a lot on this particular week. So should be amazing.
Totally. Yeah. It's always my favorite part of running courses is, having the final show and tell session where everyone has been, working and tinkering and exploring for the last few weeks with us, and have something to share and, show off and to really communicate what they've learned through that journey and process. And in many cases, it's something that students have gone on and, pitched to their team as an internal tool to build out further or implement directly. In some cases, yeah, I've had students pitch ideas directly to their CEOs that have gotten greenlit, right? As major AI initiatives. We've had students also make everything from an AI sort of ethics guideline and framework or policy internally to very specific AI assistants or agents, as well as some part of workflow, yeah, management or orchestration. So there's
Yeah.
just a huge range.
And no promises, but I have heard of certain companies discontinuing the use of some, normal, everyday, off-the-shelf cloud software because what they've been able to build via AI is cheaper, more custom, more tailored to their work. So they don't actually have to use the sort of expensive per seat thing, whatever they were doing before. Again, totally depends on the company, the project, everything you're doing, but it is definitely a possibility. And, we encourage everyone to think about possibilities like that as they go through the class. Cool. All right, here we are. We're wrapping up now. So, Peter, first of all, super looking forward to doing all this with you and the folks that are going to be taking this class next year. Should we give a little more detail on, the what the class is or when it's what how to enroll? What should we talk about now?
Yeah, so just to kind of recap, classes starting on Tuesday, February 4th at 12 p.m. Eastern, 9 a.m. Pacific time, taking place weekly at that time over 6 weeks. Capstone project based. The final class is show and tell and sharing. And this is, an amazing part of this. Probably my favorite part of the whole program as well is the chance to network, learn from peers who've been, diving deep alongside us, right? And I think in terms of some of the key things to know here, Pete, as we wrap up, it's really, this isn't another AI course, right? This is something that is very tailored, and we meet you where you're coming from, and regardless of your goals, priorities, your organization, your position, your, daily tasks and workflows, like we're here to meet you where you're coming from, right? And that's something that we enjoy. We love working with people and learning about what their key, kind of stumbling blocks and priorities are, the things that, if I just had a little bit more time in my day, could do XYZ, helping unlock that just makes me, super fired up. So go check out the landing page. There's a couple different places. You can go to peterbittner.com/AI for PR media professionals. We'll share the links here.
Yeah.
But there's a landing page that Pete has as well. You can
Yeah.
check out on
Just go
either
to
place.
mediacopilot.ai and I'm sure you'll be able to find it really, really quickly. Yeah, totally. All of that resonates a lot, Peter. And like I say, I think one of the reasons this is going to be super valuable is that we're teaching all these classes 100% live. And it's not like you won't be able to watch it after, you will, but the whole idea of the live interactivity I find essential to this kind of thing. It's just particularly in a field like AI, which is changing so fast. And I know you've done this, I've done this. You're having a class, some major thing is announced a day or a couple days before you even have the class. You can, on the fly, really quickly sort of integrate that, fold that in, or at the very least answer questions and why it matters and how it sort of integrates with the stuff you're teaching. And we're just there. We're there to answer the Q&A and go with you every step of the way. So super, super valuable. You can't get that in an on-demand class, which might have been made 3 months, 6 months, 9 months ago, which is an eternity in AI.
Yeah. Sometimes even 3 days ago, right? 3 weeks
Yeah.
ago certainly is already out of date. But no, you're right. I mean, I'm not exaggerating. Yeah, it's moving at light speed. So that is one of the big reasons why we do these live as well. We could, have it all pre-recorded and do some one-on-ones, but it's really much better to be able to be responsive. And we love the student interaction. Come with questions. Yeah, we're here to help guide you as best we can here to help navigate this ever changing terrain.
All right. Well, we're going to leave it there, folks. The sign up page is in the show notes, or if you're on YouTube, go check it out right below the video here. Click on over. We'd love to have you, and we will hopefully see you soon.
Hope to see you soon. Yeah, super excited for this, Pete. Come join Peter and Pete, Pete and Peter, the Pete's.
The Peters.
Indeed.
All right. This is going to be great. All right. Great talking to you.
Likewise.